Good morning, everyone. This is Gideon Cheng here. I hope everyone would choose to stay happy today and focus only on the positives and remove any negative thoughts, emotions, and situations that aren't even true. Let us not get deceived no matter what. I wanted to briefly chat about life today, and today's topic is bearing spiritual fruits. And the 12th spiritual fruit that we must learn to bear in our lives is paying evil with good. Paying evil with good is impossible, friends. How can you pay an evil with good? It's never possible, and it's not something that we can do. Only God can change us to do this. If you agree with me on this, then the only solution is to ask God, for us to pray to God to change us so that we can pay evil with good. And after asking, a miracle really happened in my life. And I have shared this testimony when God was asking me to try to pay evil with good in a particular situation involving my son's school teacher. And I have done it for the first time in my life, and I couldn't believe it. I actually paid an evil with good, and God took care of the rest. And I would love to share further with you on this, but I have promised with Amazon that I won't share any of my book contents. So if you're interested, you would just have to buy my book to read on this topic. It certainly includes 10 major miracles that God gave in my life. So please feel free to visit my website at www.gideoncheng.com and click the books section. You can most conveniently buy the book on Amazon through my website. If not, you can just go directly to the Amazon books section on Google and type Gideon Cheng. You will see my book, and it's called Be Strong and Courageous in both ebooks and paperbacks. My encouragement to you today is to try to pay evil with good. Try to be more creative than me. But I have done it once, and it was an amazing spiritual experience in my life because God really cleaned out those evil people in my son's life without us having to do anything. And I didn't even have to pray. God just took care of them. Can you believe this? God promised in the Bible that vengeance is mine, and that is exactly what he did in my life. I couldn't believe it. So next time I face another evil in my life, I know I will try not to revenge myself, but rather leave that up to God. There are reasons why there are problems and sufferings and hardships in people's lives, because they do evil and God makes vengeance. Folks, if you believe you can do this, which means to pay evil with good, then you're pretty much ready to graduate from the Life University, because this is probably the hardest thing that we can do. You are a mature Christian. The 13th spiritual fruit that we must learn to bear in our lives is perseverance. We all know what this means, right? Persevering is another hardest thing to do when following God. God is not on our timetable many times. God has His own timetable. God's thoughts are higher than our thoughts, and His plans are better than our plans. So I hope by now that you have started to rely on God with many of your life's issues and problems. But at least in my life, God gradually extended the length of the times that I had to wait for God's answers and His miracles. There were times that God answered instantly, but those were little things. Most of the time, when I asked for big things in my life, God has really rolled up His sleeves to train me and test me, to make sure that I persevere. Sometimes I felt like Noah. I'll be honest with you. Having to build a gigantic ship to prepare for the moment when God will give rain. Otherwise, many people, including my spouse, children, brothers, sisters, who lack the kind of faith in God that you need, they actually thought I was crazy. But then when I go through such period of craziness of waiting, the miracle that I have been waiting finally does come through. So I really know now that it's not that God doesn't want to give, since I asked according to His promises in the Bible, but it is God's training and discipline to extend the sheer amount of time that I can persevere and endure at times. I really know now that it is God's training. So when your prayer and miracles get delayed, and you know for sure you have asked according to God's will and purposes, then the chances are that God is testing your faith as well as training you to persevere.